All right. This is James Thornock, and this is the Coder Kids Podcast, episode 9. So, welcome. Today, we have on the program our very first international guest ever. His name is unknown, but his username is Ultimate Immersion. He is super cool. And the reason why, I really decided to have him on the program today is just because he spends quite a bit of time in the modding community, also with Minecraft and some other things. I'll let him introduce himself, but that's kind of the idea and the thrust behind this discussion. So if you'd like to hear, really get into the weeds with Minecraft and learn some neat details and, really what's possible, we'd be talking a lot about that. So without further ado, if you feel like I left anything out, Ultimate?
That's pretty much it. Hi, my name is Ultimate Immersion. That's my alias. I'm a YouTuber, and I also do a lot regarding modding. And probably lately, I'm mostly known by the Minecraft mod that I actually did a year ago. I started a year ago, which you can see a part here on the screenshot. Actually, here.
Right. If you're on YouTube, if you're on the podcast, we'll just describe it. It's a super RGB lit computer tower with the side of the computer case kind of off, so you can see the internals. Yeah. It's absolutely breathtaking.
And it's like my primary goal is to achieve the most photorealistic graphics as possible in Minecraft, which is an old Java engine. And somebody did like the ray tracing shaders for this. So that's what inspired me to go on with this project. And the results are like really amazing for this type of engine.
Yeah. So we'll be posting links in the show notes to obviously Ultimate Immersion's YouTube channel and also his Patreon. So that way you can see him, support him. I've been a patron for I think 3 or 4 months now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I mean, I support what you're doing, and I think, kind of one of my motivations is to, we just moved out to a house in the suburbs in Houston, and, we like our house just fine. It's nice, but I think we want to design like a dream house.
And then, okay. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Actually build it. So for me, and I don't know how this goes for the rest of your users and rest of your patrons, but I think, for me, I kind of want to see what my future is going to look like. And it's nice, and
to design it like,
yeah, like to design it without it costing, any money. I mean,
that is really cool. Yeah.
So without it costing any money, I'm going to buy the 3080. So like, that's not no money, but like,
yeah. It's a good investment to say.
Right. I mean, it is a little bit funny, but right now the game that I'm most excited about, honestly, graphics wise, is this game, and that's partially due to your work as well as obviously Sonic Ether, who develops the PTGI shaders, which is that's short for Path Trace Graphics Interface, right?
Yeah,
I think so. So that's another
trace, global illumination, GI. Yeah,
global illumination.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, I was doing a lot of Skyrim and Witcher and Fallout modding and so on. But that's the games which are really open to modding. Mm-hmm. But now lately that I like started doing this, like for the past year that I started doing this, and just like last week I went back to Skyrim modding, which you actually joined my stream right. as well. I got so spoiled with graphics in Minecraft now that I just can't like really, immerse anymore in Skyrim and so on, like other games, because this is so far ahead,
And it's so funny. This game was invented over a decade ago, right? And
it's really,
and yet it's the
amazing.
most popular game on the planet right now.
Still,
I
don't think there's any game. Yeah, I don't think there's any game that was so popular apart from those League of Legends and Dota 2 and so on. Those are really popular games, but I think overall Minecraft is the most popular game of all times, pretty
And
much. Like,
yeah, and we've actually done another podcast on Minecraft. I believe it's episode 4. I could be wrong. You can look back at the catalog. But one of the things that we said in that podcast was just that it's basically Legos, but you don't have to step on them, right? So
yeah,
you get
true,
you get infinite Legos, and so a lot of games are about destruction and killing, and as a
Mm.
some of the parents listening to this,
Very, very linear, like too linear in my taste. Like most of
oh
the
yeah,
games.
yeah, and there's like a set track and a set path with Minecraft.
Yeah,
The world is your oyster.
it's exactly, yeah.
You can
Do
do
whatever
whatever
you
you
want.
want, and you can build
And
whatever
with
you want.
modding,
Yeah.
yeah, and with modding, like the possibilities just like multiply, So
Yeah.
that's what's keeping it alive, in my opinion.
Yeah, and so, believe it or not, the thing that is right behind, if you're watching the YouTube video, obviously, behind Ultimate Immersion right now is an asset. And so what that does on the elementary level is like that replaces like a Minecraft block, like a dirt block or a cedar wood block or whatever. That's just another block that you would put down.
Actually,
Is that right or no?
Actually, this is like that's why I created a mod. This is actually a completely new block ID, so it's a separate
Okay.
block. Yeah, I do
But you would
like
put it down
replacers.
like you would just put it down in one
Exactly the
motion
same.
though.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just exactly the same. I do like retexture original
Yeah.
blocks, vanilla blocks to say. But those are just like retextured like over a cube. This
Yeah.
is like more of a model, which is like specifically like it's modeled from scratch and
Yeah.
textured, and then it's like a separate block. So that's why I use a mod as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it has different dimensions, I think would be the
Oh yeah.
would you say that's probably the primary difference?
Yeah, that it has different dimensions. It also has transparency, as you can
Yeah.
see. Like it's like the textures are cut out. It also has RGB, like animated illumination. So these fans, like the lights, RGB lights, are all animated and they spin and so on. So there's many elements to this single object here.
And not to focus too much on this single, mod asset here. You have a lot. You have solar panels, you have glass.
Oh yeah.
You have modern furniture. You have like stoves and sinks and
Roofs. Yeah, exactly.
you have
All
road
kind of
signs
shelving. Yeah, roads and so on.
and
I
signs.
can actually
So
show some of the images later or whatever if you want.
yeah, well, and I think it might be better to link to them, just because this is a
Okay, yeah,
podcast.
because sure.
And a
Sure.
lot of people are going to be listening while they're running, and they're
I
not
know,
going to
yeah.
necessarily like
I know it's not
flip
gonna
over
make
to
sense.
YouTube to check this stuff out. But it really is pretty beautiful. But I do, before I want to jump into the kind of minutia about modding and how it works and everything, I think I want to kind of rewind to even perhaps your childhood. What got you interested in coding? What got you interested in modding? What got you interested like in video games? And what's kind of been the motivation behind that? And then I assume your YouTube story also is going to kind of coincide on some level there. So
Yeah, it's
go back
I
as
actually
far
never.
as you want in time.
Yeah. I actually never thought that widely before, and I never actually got this comprehensive question to say. Actually, what motivated me is I always was interested in graphics,
Okay.
like to make something CGI, computer graphics, as realistic as possible. And the first time I actually tried something to make something better was actually when Skyrim came out, and I tried the first mods. That like opened the whole new world for me. But I
So
didn't do
you're saying
anything after.
by try mods, you mean like you just downloaded and installed other
Yeah,
people's mods?
just
Okay.
that. Yeah, I actually never used mod before. I was doing a lot of music production back in the day, so one thing led to another. That was just like I did some gaming, but mostly I did like music production in college and so on. So that was during my college years. when I finished my college, then I started working, and I just wanted, something more. And that's kind of when I got into YouTube a little bit more. Um, I started my YouTube channel. I just like one day I left my job and just focused like 100% of energy there into
That's
that.
tough. That's tough.
It was really, I'm not gonna lie, it was so freaking tough. Um, I literally had to like eat pasta for a week all the time.
Oh
It
my
was that bad.
goodness.
It was that bad. But I knew like I'm gonna make it one day, I'm gonna do something, or actually things are gonna start opening up. And it actually happened, in a way. I'm really glad that so many opportunities came. I met a really good friend. He's a really big YouTuber as well, ESO, if you know him.
I don't.
Um,
Yeah.
he's like really focused into Skyrim and Bethesda games and like more role playing games.
Hmm.
Uh, and we are actually now doing projects together. We have a Modlist website together. Um, Overall, we're really good friends. We like IRL friends. We visit each other and so on. So,
IRL for you
and
parents means in real life.
oh, sorry, yeah,
Yeah, no, it's okay. And mod, I should define what mod is. Mod is something like you have what's called vanilla game, which is the video game as the
original, yeah,
developers intended it, right? Like this is the game how you downloaded it on your computer or your Nintendo Switch or whatever. And then a mod is an addition to something that modifies the original game or it adds something to it.
yeah,
So that's just like the basic like definition of what a mod is. So if you ever played Super Mario Brothers, and theoretically think about if you put a mod in Super Mario Brothers that changed all of the colors, inverted all of the colors to the exact opposite, right? That would be a mod. And that wouldn't change
yeah, exactly.
gameplay necessarily, but it would change the way things look. So some mods focus on changing the mechanics of the game. Some focus on changing the assets in a game, like the different objects, and some focus on changing the look of and feel of a game.
Yeah,
And some do all three because they have way too much time on their hands. I can
true,
only
true,
assume
true,
so.
yeah. Some
Uh,
some people go really deep into modding. Yeah,
yeah, so I just wanted to zoom out to make sure. Obviously, your fans are going to know exactly what mods are. They're
yeah,
downloading your asset packs and your mod and Optifine and Sonic Ethers shaders. So they're going to be very familiar with that. But for my parents, I want to bring them into the loop, help them understand.
oh yeah,
So
sure, yeah, sure.
right on. So a lot of kids these days, they want to make it big on YouTube, and
Yeah,
uh,
it's very saturated with like new channels and everything. It's
yeah,
really hard to.
and it's so saturated. I mean, I was wanting to do it back before it was cool, and I probably should have. That probably would have been great. Obviously, this is going to be posted to our YouTube channel, so this is a little bit interesting, a little bit circular, but uh, and it's really tough. Not everyone's going to do well on YouTube, and so the reality
I
of
think,
living on pasta is kind of tough, right? So, what
yeah,
are your
it is.
thoughts
Yeah.
on that? On the pasta
Um,
life?
yeah, the thing is you have to keep on grinding. That's number one rule. Whatever the results are, you have to keep on grinding because these things like come really unexpectedly. It just opens up one day. I mean, I'm not really big myself, but I really got popular with this mod.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's like there's so much content out there that it's getting harder and harder to do something really unique nowadays.
Hmm.
And this is making you harder to stand out. But with persistence, anything is possible. Even if you produce like a content that like 100 or even more YouTubers do like the same. You just have to be persistent, and
And
that's it.
and to be honest, right? Like before I knew about you, what attracted me to the mod and everything, I think probably was your YouTube channel. I think I originally heard about ray tracing in Minecraft, and so then I started like just kind of looking up
Oh,
videos that dealt with like realistic Minecraft, and that must have
yeah.
been I how I found you because I wanted to, I have a
There was
GTX, yeah, I have a graphics card that is powerful enough. It's GTX 1070 Ti for the graphics card nerds out there, and I wanted to see if I could make Minecraft as realistic as possible. I don't know
yeah.
why. It was just that it was again that kind of just kind of strange
I think
tinker
it's
feeling.
a fun. It's so much fun in modding that like you're trying to make things better, and then you're like seeing the results in progress. I think that is like a really nice driving force, of modding. Why you do modding? You just want to see the change. How to upgrade the game best possible.
Yeah, and in some ways that's a game in and of itself, right?
Yeah,
Is
true,
like
true.
what can you build? How fast can you build it?
Yeah.
And you're gonna run into some organic challenges, some natural problems, and then you have to get over them. So, what were some of the actually? Let's like get right into that. So, like, what were some of the setbacks that you dealt with? Whether it's YouTube or whether it's getting into modding, or right now I know you're dealing with a bug in Optifine that you don't really have control over. So
Oh
how
yeah.
do, how do you over what are some of these setbacks that you've experienced, and then how are some of the ways that you're trying to get over those?
If we're talking about Minecraft alone, there was a lot of things that I needed to find like a side route to
Mm.
to you know to actually make things work on a very very primitive system, let's say, of modeling and everything. So, for example, if you look at this, well, actually, if I talk about this computer that I did in Minecraft, um, which has all the animated lights. It has transparent textures. Um, it's like irregular shape. Uh, Everything I needed to make everything like with very very limited resources possible. So I think I did like it was. I think I was one of the first guys, or even like the first that did like something like this in such a high quality um, output, or to say. I don't think anybody else so far did something like this. They did try with like without shaders and so on, but nothing like this. So it was a lot of thinking, through how to make this happen. A lot of things I had to test and they didn't work out, and then I found a solution and so on. I think the Sonic Ether, the shader developer, deals with this a lot, and he found a lot of brickfuls on his way. So yeah, it's just because everything is so limited.
Yeah, and it's not easy too because us here we're in 2020. The coronavirus still rages on a little bit at least, and a lot of the programmers, a lot of the coders who spend time building games, making games, doing mods, we spent a lot of time in our house, isolated.
True. Yeah.
um and I know for a fact that Sonic Ether was talking about the fact that he deals a little bit with anxiety, and
Yeah.
trying to overcome that, and trying to find the motivation to work when it's not always easy. And so I admire that about him. Obviously, I'm a patron of him as well, because I'm using both of your assets here.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was just wondering, how do you find the strength to keep doing what you do? Is it just because you love to see that progress? Is it because you have a commitment to your fans, and you want to give them a good product? Is it just because you love doing it? Like, what is it? What is it?
I
What is it
think
that motivates you?
I think it's a little bit of everything.
Okay.
The first thing in the first place, why I wanted to do this is, of course, it was something that interested me, and I loved doing this, and I wanted to actually educate myself in the 3D area. How to produce textures, how lighting works, and so on. Um, And then, it just kind of like rolled. It actually rolled like a snowball, and now, like nowadays, I also don't want to disappoint my fans, to say. So that's why I want to bring as much content out as possible. This is like a really huge driving force for me, that a lot of people support me, and then, of course, I want to do kind of like make up to them, in a way to do as much content as possible. So, like I said, like everything in together creates this driving force.
Yeah, and I think in some ways it's a community effort. I'm not trying to downplay your actions, but I mean,
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a
you know,
huge part.
it's like I couldn't do, for instance, at Coder Kids. We do coding classes for kids. Obviously, that's the name of the company, right?
Mm,
We couldn't do that if we're not being supported by parents. Who
exactly.
are
Yeah.
essentially paying us for after school classes, for summer camps. In a similar way, I mean, it sounds like if you didn't have patrons on Patreon, right? If you didn't have fans on YouTube, or people who are just interested, maybe not even fans, just like passing through, sharing your videos. I mean, that actually does support you and your living,
Yeah.
so that you can pay rent and buy pasta and and you know
Yeah, plenty.
all those things,
Yeah.
right? I have a
I
diet of
think it's
like, yeah, all beef
I
now,
think
but
it's
like, yeah.
Oh, you do?
We don't need to talk about it on the podcast, but I'm fortunate, I'm fortunate to be able to support my family,
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
what
yeah.
Coder Kids has
For sure.
done. So it's just my
For
way of
sure.
saying thank you, not that
Yeah.
I'm recommending a
I
diet.
really feel the same. I feel humbled, to all my fans and supporters. And yeah, this is like a really, really huge driving force. I think it's, if you like you start doing something, but if you don't get like a support like this, it kind of like it dies off over time. But this is kind of making you retain the same momentum.
Yeah.
Because I think you find other things to do, and then you kind of like move around and, see what really interests you in life.
And I
Um,
think that's
I do
that's
think,
a bit of the difficulty though too, right? Is you have, with YouTube and with Patreon, it's like you got to constantly be making stuff, like producing stuff.
yeah,
So it's a bit of a grind, but I mean, the truth is that every job is like that. We have to keep offering coding camps. We have to keep offering private tutoring. Like we can't just stop.
yeah,
And
for sure.
even people that we see as like inherently wealthy, um, they it's so easy for your money to find your way away from you. It's so easy to
Yeah, that's
spend
true.
money.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows, who's been up late on a Saturday night scrolling through Amazon.com, they know it's so easy to buy random stuff. I'm speaking from
Oh, for
experience.
sure. Yeah, for sure. But
That it's so easy to find your way away from money. So we constantly have to be producing and giving out to the world, but hopefully, like, in the end, the world is technically more beautiful and more knowledgeable, I think.
I think, yeah, I always like, held to the principle, like, that you have to like try to give as much as you receive, kind of like, to keep the balance, or, even like give more. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I was always like standing behind. Just
well that,
like this makes a world better place, in my opinion.
that's awesome.
That's very, very life
Yeah, yes,
lesson to say,
it's
but
getting heavy here on YouTube
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
on the podcast sphere. Well, that is good. That's that's just so important.
I
Do you
think this is
think
like one of the reasons why I did such a high quality output as well. I'm a lot of a perfectionist, but, I just want to give, a lot to others as well.
so? Can you describe then, you know, what is your process? Let's say you come up with an idea in your head. Can you take us through step by step? Like,
Yeah.
how do you actually build it? And if I interrupt you, it's just so we can like kind of explain what's going on. So, you come up with, it starts with the idea, and then what do you do next?
it's very like spontaneous. I will get an idea, and then I will just kind of like start, like, let's say I do like monthly updates, and let's say for this month, for 1 month, I will just come out with one idea, and then I will just kind of like look for similar things in the, in the topic of that first idea that I have, like similarities, and I will try to produce similar things like related to that. So for example, right now I'm doing like a lot of furniture for the next update. I started with a one cupboard, and now I decide like to do like a full set of furniture. Let's say for like past couple of updates, I started with a tarmac road texture,
Tarmac
and
in the United
tarmac
States. Yeah, yeah,
asphalt.
yeah.
Asphalt. I don't know how do you say it actually. Yeah, in
Is
English.
is it asphalt?
We
Is that
say
what
we
you're
say
talking about?
asphalt. We say asphalt. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if it's tarmac
we
or
say
asphalt.
asphalt, and yeah.
Asphalt. Okay, we
hmm
say the same. So okay.
Quick note,
So
yeah. So, Ultimate Immersion's over there in you say it Slovenia? How do you
Slovenia.
pronounce it?
Yeah,
Slovenia. Okay.
Slovenia. Yeah,
Yeah.
Slovenia.
So there's sometimes a bit of a cultural difference, but hey, let's just say, I mean, your English is on point, so I think that's
Oh,
great.
thank you so much. I'm trying. I'm
Um,
trying really hard.
so that's great. So that's that's just to add to the richness of your character and the kind of the struggles. I'm sure that's not easy to necessarily
It is
learn a new
harder. Yeah,
language and then learn coding languages. All right, I'll stop interrupting you.
it is harder, but yeah, I'm kind of like daily. English is my daily thing, so it's easier to hang around, and understand. So yeah,
So
I
you're
was saying,
thinking
yeah,
of the furniture. You do things that kind of more or less rhyme with it, right? So you're doing a cupboard,
yeah,
then you're doing a
related.
stovetop, then you're doing a sink.
Yeah, I was doing like I was wanting to say like I did the asphalt, and then I did like all the side blocks for one update, and the next one I did like traffic lights and signs and so on. So now you can build like a really nice urban area with the houses and everything. Like let's say updates before I did roofs and so on.
Yeah,
Um,
that's where the solar panels
and
came in.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and one thing is I always try to innovate things with every single update if it's possible, like doing things that were never done before. So again, here I have to find solutions to many problems, because things don't exist. So I have to kind of like research and make them happen in some way. There's a lot of brick walls, but um, it is possible to find like side routes to come to the solution.
And that's the beautiful thing about coding. Sometimes there are multiple solutions, but there's always one. There's always one solution,
Yeah,
even if
yeah.
it's throw your computer out the window. But
That's true. Sometimes, yeah.
that's only good for the memes. But so, how do you actually go about creating a mod? What program do you use? What coding language are we talking about? Like, I'm assuming Java, but can you describe
Yeah.
that a little bit?
I'm actually using MC Creator, which is very,
Okay.
very easy to use. It's like for all the kids out there that are starting this, I would highly recommend this. It's like more GUI based software
Okay.
that helps you create a mod. It's so much easier than just doing everything from with coding.
hmm
Um, it is more flexible if you do it from scratch, but to start with, I would definitely recommend this for all the kids out there that are starting the modding.
Right on. Okay. Awesome. So MC Creator, you think is a
MC
really good
Creator,
resource. Okay.
yeah. By the way, the guy is actually Slovenian who made this. It's really
Oh, really?
popular. Yeah, and we actually met at the college graduation, like
No
not
kidding.
long ago. Yeah, he was
That's
actually on the same college as me.
that's
So
so
funny.
great. So a lot of Slovenian pride over here today. So this is good.
True. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so
Small country, but it's small world as
yeah,
well.
it's so funny because I live in the Houston area and there are 4 million people just in like the Houston area.
It's like
And so
double the yeah, my whole country.
oh, good times. Good times. So so you go into MC Creator, and what do you do inside that app? For like, I don't really know exactly what happens inside that app. So can you kind of break that down
Uh,
and describe?
it's actually, it helps you create like separate blocks that are not, within vanilla Minecraft system. So for example, I don't know how many blocks are out there in vanilla Minecraft, but it helps you create separate blocks, separate block IDs, so you can add like a new, completely new blocks that are only like loaded in with the mod. So for example, like this PC that I did and so on, I mainly use all the new blocks with new IDs, so completely new blocks.
Okay.
Um, and that's like, you can do a lot of things, but mainly my mod is focused on visuals and architecture. So I only use a very basic system of, to say, programming or creating mod. You can do way more with MC Creator. The whole like actually, you can recreate the whole world of Minecraft within MC Creator. To be honest, um, to some extent, not like into the core, but you can add like all the animals you want, all the ores, things that naturally spawn in the world, and so on. So it's a
Yeah,
really, really,
all type of entities, right?
oh, everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's you can do a lot of things with that.
And so then do you export a file, or how does that work? You just okay.
You export the jar file, and that's what you normally load with Forge. And now it also has Fabric support. So this is like two types of mod loaders for Minecraft.
Okay. Right on. So it's a bit complicated. For like further instructions, obviously check out his Patreon. But so yeah, so you wake up in the morning, you have an idea, you start working. Do you have like a do you have
I have
like
my
a
camera.
sketchbook? You have a camera?
Yeah, I do actually write a lot of things down, especially a lot of like animation sequences that I had to do for animated models. I had to like figure out by like actually calculating stuff.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, I do like roam around with my camera a lot and snapping pictures, which are like then like edited and prepared for textures. I then just like select the best ones and make textures out of them.
We're not trying to make Minecraft look ugly, so don't use the don't use the worst ones, please.
No.
Yeah. Be
Don't use
like,
the
all
phone.
right, our new asset is cleaning up after the dog, and we that would be great for an April Fool's update. If
Yeah, the Easter eggs.
oh goodness gracious, that would be bad. Be like, and there's a special asset just for you haters out there. No, that would be inappropriate, but goodness gracious. Well, cool. Well, here's a big question. And I'm sure you've thought some about this, and I know there,
Let's
you
see.
want to release things on your timetable, but what kind of stuff do you have coming up in the future? Are you going to be sticking with Minecraft and, and Bethesda games in the future? Do you have any other games that you're thinking about working on? Are there any assets that you're hoping to do? What are your kind of thoughts about what future plans?
Um, the thing is, I really don't think that far ahead in the future, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. I really go like spontaneously, just like whatever interests me, I start doing. There's a lot of things. I'm a very curious person, so there's a lot of things that interest me. But mainly, I focused right now in architecture a lot. Of course, I will do more about Bethesda modding and so on. I was starting to prepare in the new mod list and so on. I'm building a new website for our website that we have with ESO that we
Mm-hmm.
share the mod list on. So on that, we're gonna add a lot more like moddable games mod list and content. But mainly I'm really interested now in architecture. So I'm gonna try to do this Minecraft thing as long as I can, as many as resources that I can find, because eventually things are gonna, let's say, the resources are gonna deplete, and because there's so many limits in Minecraft, that's why. So you can only do so much. But I'm also doing something with Unreal Engine right now. But it's like a very, very early stage right now, so I can't
It's
say
like
much.
alpha. Yeah.
Yeah, not even that, not even that. It's just like basically
Ultra
an
alpha.
idea that it's starting to evolve right now. So yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Do you think, I mean, I'm hopeful that in some ways I love Minecraft just because of the history of it and the richness and the tradition and the player base and all of that. But I am partially hopeful for a Minecraft 2.0 in some ways, that isn't based around the same limits, but still has some of the same freedoms and modding capabilities. And maybe
Is
even
there?
the stamp of approval of Microsoft or is it Mojang or Mojang? I've heard both.
I don't know. I say Mojang actually, or
You
Mojang.
say
I don't
Mojang.
know.
Yeah,
In my language, it would be Mojang, but
Mojang.
in
Okay.
English, I
Yeah,
J.
yeah, Mojang. Especially here
Yeah,
in Texas, be like, boy, you heard about that Mojang? Yeah, boy, they make that
Mojang.
Minecraft game. Yeah, they sure
Yeah, yeah,
did.
yeah.
But my kids can't stop playing that game. Boy, I tell you what, they just build it
Yeah.
all over the place.
You don't have that accent, by the way.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Or are you from that area, or did you move here?
Oh, so I grew up in Utah. I lived in
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I have
So
a
it's a
little bit
different.
more Midwestern kind of accent. I picked up words like y'all, obviously, which
Yeah.
is a superior word to you,
Yeah, I
and
know.
so I love that. But um, I don't really believe in like faking the accents, but I will kind of I'll speak more like the people that I'm talking to kind of naturally, especially if I'm
Yeah.
like around, if I'm on a farm and I'm talking to, you know, somebody who's, for instance, raising cows. I was actually doing this last month, and I'll just like talk more like them. It's kind of like
It is.
I
Yeah.
learned to
It's
do
kind
it
of
a little bit in
influence.
Russia. So when I lived in Russia for a year and a half, and the goal was to sound Russian. The goal was not to sound like an American learning
Like
Russian. The goal is to
more
sound
Russian
Russian.
English, Russian English kind of like accent.
Yeah. Oh no, no.
Russian.
Like, I mean, I learned Russian,
Hard R. Yeah, yeah.
so rolling the R's, learning the new vowel sound. That's really difficult. That I'm not going to attempt to pronounce right now. Like, um, yeah, trying to make
Our language.
yourself easy to be understood. It's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Our language and the Russian are really like similar. They have the same roots,
Okay.
but I mean, I don't understand a lot of Russian, but a lot of still like quite a lot of words are the same pretty much.
Okay.
So we are, kind of the same in terms of like how we actually then speak English,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
the
same.
familiarity. Yeah, it sounds
Yeah, yeah.
it's definitely
Kind of same
familiar.
language. Yeah, yeah.
So does Slovenia and Slav does it come from the same word?
I think, yeah, I mean it goes like on from history. Uh it was like, I don't know how it's called in English.
S-
Culture,
mhm.
Culture.
Yeah,
The
Slav
old
or Slav, yeah. So I would
Slavs, yeah.
in Russian, Slav actually means glory. So
Oh, it
it
doesn't.
huh?
Oh, actually it does, yeah. Now that I think of
Slav,
it,
yeah,
because it had,
Slav actually means glory. It's a
yeah.
very religious roots, right? And so if people say Slava Bogu, that's like glory to
To
God,
God,
right?
to God,
And
yeah, yeah. We have
so
both.
so the so if you're talking about Slavic people in general, you're also calling them like the glorified people, which I just find so awesome. A little bit
It is
extra,
kind of funny.
but
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
it is it is interesting. Like if you're gonna name your culture something, like might as well,
Glorious
yeah,
culture.
like we're the glorious people. I don't know about
Yeah.
you over there, but
Yeah,
um,
exactly. Yeah,
pretty good. A bit of a tangent there, but that sure is a bunch of fun. Is there,
I actually, yeah, it is like that. Yeah.
is there anything else that you want to share with your fans or with parents of kids who are, playing a lot of Minecraft, who are wanting to build things? Anything that you'd want to say to them?
Uh, I would say that if you um want to do something, just go for it. Just keep on creating. Just keep on doing things. Keep on grinding. You will get there eventually. Uh, you will get better. You will find so many more opportunities on the way. So it is worth trying something, because this can bring you really far, and you will be happy because you're going to be doing things that you love doing.
Well, perfect. Thank you so much, Ultimate Immersion, for being on the podcast today.
Thank you.
We're excited. I mean, personally, I'm excited and a fan of, what you've got coming, whether it's furniture or street signs or asphalt or whatever, or the Fortnite llama, if you want to put that in, that'd be hilarious. Some cross
Sadly, I don't play
pollination.
Fortnite, but I can do
uh,
something. Whenever it's modding, I can do
uh,
something. Why not?
Maybe we could sponsor you, and you could do something. But
Yeah.
big shout out to you. If you're interested, like I said, check the show notes. We're gonna have Ultimate Immersion, his Patreon, his YouTube channel. Where you can kind of reach out and see. You really have to see the stuff for yourself. Listening to it doesn't do it justice. You have to actually see it, and it is pretty stunning. And then maybe someday we can have Sonic Ether on too. If you want to shoot him a message, that'd be great. I'd love to
That
hear
would be
his
awesome.
story, because I know he's dealt with a lot of difficulties, and
He's very busy as well. So yeah,
he's
I
busy
have a really
too.
rare chance to talk to him, but I
Yeah,
will I will try
and
to.
I mean, but the truth is, he's kind of done better shaders than the official RTX shaders.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure.
it's like not even
It's a
the
miracle what he did.
the unofficial single man job that he's done. Um, it's unreal. I mean,
Yeah.
um,
There would be, I don't think there would be any of these that like us that did so many of the high resolution texture packs if it wasn't for his PTGI shader.
yeah.
It created a huge wave of modding. It's
Well,
incredible.
and I think maybe we should finish on that note in that, if you create something good and you give it to the world and you work really hard and you create something and you run into a lot of problems, at the end of the day, that can even create a better world for other people, right?
Oh, it's for
That
sure.
that that can create a spot for Ultimate Immersion. That can create a spot for other people.
It just
These
seeds so
collaboration,
many,
and
just
I
plants so
would,
many seeds.
and I think, yeah, plant so many seeds. And I
Yeah,
think at the end of the day, I want to live in a world where the whole world is nicer, right? Like
yeah, for
it's
sure.
going to be
Oh, for
nicer
sure.
because of what I do and because of what you do. Not just that I'm in it for myself and I'm trying to get big on YouTube, because when you're tired and it's Friday night and you run into a problem, honestly, working for yourself is not going to keep you motivated. I work for my wife, I work for my son. I work so that a bunch of kids can have a great experience. I work so that, my instructors can have a great experience instructing. And that's kind of what keeps me going. So when you realize like you're a part of this community, that hopefully isn't so toxic. Some of the parts of the gamer community can be, but
I think it's okay if it's a little bit toxic, but not too much. I kind of like it a little bit. I
a
like a
little
little bit
bit,
spicy, but not too much. Yeah,
a
yeah,
little
in a
bit
good way.
spicy. I love it.
Yeah,
When you realize like that you're part of that community and you're contributing, you're having fun. I mean, I think that's a huge driving factor in
yeah.
whatever you do. So sorry to preach at you, episode 9. But we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, and thank you for obviously joining the podcast today, Ultimate Immersion. We'll hopefully see you
Well,
again.
thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.